What have you been told your whole life about retirement? Save, save, save. Stack up a fortune before you can even think about retiring. But let me tell you the reality that most people don't even retire with huge savings accounts. I'm one of them. I retired with no savings. But yet, you can still find happiness, freedom, and peace of mind in your retirement years. Your retirement isn't all about what you've saved, but it's more about your income streams. Do you have more than one income coming in? That's the tricky part. A lot of times when you retire, you only get Social Security, or you'll get your pension and not the Social Security yet. So you have to, when you retire, you have to create a budget for yourself to be able to maintain your everyday living. You may get Social Security, pensions, you might work part-time, or you might have some side hustles that you create the steady flow you need. It's not the size of your account, it's the consistency of your cash flow. It's just as if you were still working. Would you have $1 million saved up? That's what a lot of people say you should have saved before you retire. When you're living and working your daily life, do you have money saved up? And you're saving that money for what? Retirement? Or how about you get some emergencies that come up where you have to go into your savings, your 401k? Those are times when you start, dwindling down on your savings. And then when you retire, that savings isn't as big as you thought it was. You downsize, you cook at home, you eat in, you don't eat out. You find frugal ways to make life easier for you, knowing that you don't have that big income or a lot of savings. And so that's how you budget and you manage and you continue living your life happy. When I first retired, I was so afraid because I knew I didn't have the savings I needed to retire, and it was scary. But then as the time went along, I'm like, okay, so what's going on? A lot of times you want to have a savings in case of emergencies, in case of big disastrous things that come about, something major happens and you need the money. But a lot of times before you retire, you have a lot of major things that happen and you have to go into your savings to get it. So, it's difficult to have savings when you're already living paycheck to paycheck while you're working. And that's a lot of people have done that. And but there's a lot of people who have saved up good money. They're getting a good Social Security check, a good pension coming through every month, so they're fine. So don't let savings scare you if you don't have enough savings. That's the main point of this, because when you live frugally, you're still having the freedom that you need to live a good life and enjoy the things that mean a lot to you. Now, a lot of people, when you say frugal, they think you're sacrificing something. You're not sacrificing anything. You're just being aware of what you're spending your money on. There's no more of that frivolous spending that we did when we were working to keep up with, co-workers or family or friends, because we're not in that setting anymore. Now we're, trying to find out what we enjoy doing where we're not at work. So now what do? And that's a lot of people are afraid that when they retire, they won't have anything to do. And that's a misconcept as well. Believe me, when you retire, you'll find things to do that you always wish you could have done. And my thing is to always be grateful for what you have. Here's a secret. Being debt-free often matters more than having a huge bank account. So when you're in the midst of that workforce, try to pay things down. Pay off your home if you can before you retire. Pay off your vehicles before you retire. Pay off any big debt item before you retire so you can live as debt-free as possible. Credit cards, loans, anything that you can just pay off, so when you retire, the money that you're getting is going into your lifestyle. And that's where your lifestyle changes once you retire, because you're no longer needing those work shoes, those work boots. You know, you're not needing to buy new uniforms and things like that, depending where you work. So just remember, debt-free is what you want to do when you go into retirement. And purpose and community. Happiness in retirement doesn't come from your bank account. It comes from your purpose and your people. Volunteering, hobbies, friendships, and community give you joy and meaning every day. If you have someone that you can stay in touch with and, you know, have somebody to chat with, that's a wonderful thing. And those don't cost millions of dollars. Laughing with friends, painting, gardening, doesn't cost a lot of money. And you can enjoy your retirement and your lifestyle just fine. I know someone who retired with very little savings or no savings, and that was me. Yeah, I was worried at first. And I hadn't paid off my car at that time. And I was scared. I was seriously scared. But over time, I made it through. And emergencies still arise. And I get those emergencies taken care of. And my life is great. And I am very grateful for the life I have. It's not an extravagant life. It's not a life full of gadgets and gadgets, you know, but it's a calm, peaceful, joyful life. And it has changed my mindset, feeling like I'm a failure because I didn't have a savings account when I retired. I'm building my savings account now that I'm retired, but I didn't have one when I retired. So what do you think matters more? Lifestyle or money? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. You don't need a giant savings account to retire. What you need is balance, freedom from debt, a sense of purpose, and a lifestyle that matches your income. And that's something you can start building on right now. So if this video touched you, gave you something to think about, go ahead and give it a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Love you. Mwah.